Heyo everybody, Haku here with my double review for The Walking Dead Season 8, Episodes 6 and 7. Bit behind on the show, but getting around to reviewing these right before the mid-season finale. I didn't want to release them after the mid-season finale had already come out, so trying to push these so I can get them up by Sunday, of course. So yeah, either way, let's talk about them. First we'll talk about 806, because I mean going in order and all that. So yeah, let's talk about 806. I really enjoyed it. I'm not sure if it's my favorite episode. Well, I can say it's probably the episode that I probably most enjoyed. Can't say it's necessarily my favorite. Might be my favorite, but I can't say it's the best. The best might be the one that focused mostly on Ezekiel, just because that had really great character work and storytelling. But this one may be the one that I've enjoyed the most and had the most fun watching. It did have one scene that I really didn't like, but other than that, it was pretty great. So Rick goes to the scavengers, kind of saw this coming. Of course, he's going to give them the pictures. I think I said it in previous reviews. He's going to give them the pictures and say, hey, you come work with us now. We killed the saviors. We have better deal. And when he's talking to Jadis, something that I said last season even, Jadis to me is just so charismatic. I don't know what it is about the character. I think it's the actress's portrayal, but I really love all the scenes with her. She is just a really charismatic, not even really villain. I'm not even sure what to call Jadis's role, but she's a really charismatic character to me. I just find her really badass. It's just the line she delivered. Rick gave this big speech, this big ultimatum, and she just says, no. It reminds me of the magic conch. But she says no, and then sends him off to the trash people dungeon. So pretty much she locks Rick up and takes his boots. Then from the Carl side of the story, going one character group at a time for this one, because it was easier to split it up that way. For Carl's part of the story, he pretty much just takes in Sadiq. Which I thought was great. I thought it was great character development for Carl, having him do something on his own, say sometimes your parents are wrong and sometimes you need to find your own way, and also thought it was a good way to introduce Sadiq to the show. I think that was great. I like the character a lot already, actually. Just he feels really unique just from the point of view of, my mom told me to kill him because it would free their souls, and I guess that's why I do it. So he's like, maybe it doesn't, but she said they did, or she said it did, and I've just kind of obeyed my parents. So I sort of like that, the respect and the way, like, when they got into the fight with those walkers and stuff, and he told Carl afterward, he's like, why didn't you run? And Carl's like, we got to stick together through all this and all that. So I did like that. It was good development for both. For the next group of characters, Daryl, Tara, Michonne, and Rosita doing some they need to stop doing stupid shit. A really boneheaded plan, really dumb on most of their parts. For Michonne's part, she's basically like, hey, I want to risk Alexandria by me not defending it. I want to risk myself by going out here alone to just see where they were fighting at, see that it's really surrounded by walkers, not just take Rick and everyone else's word for it, which is pretty dumb here. I really liked Rosita here, though, actually. She can be out of the people stop doing dumb things part. Because I really liked Rosita, where she's like, I don't agree with this, but I'm gonna come along with you because we can't have you going out here alone. Buddy system. So yeah, Rosita was great during this. And then Daryl and Tara, two of my favorite characters altogether, doing really stupid things here. Like, I get that they want revenge and stuff, but it really seems like the plan is pretty, well, I was going to say pretty foolproof, but they're the fools that are going in there and completely wrecking it. So yeah, they have this plan that seems to be working, seems like it's going to work, seems like the Saviors can't really do anything about it, and they're just determined to muck that all up. And then episode 7, we see that they do kind of muck that all up. So yeah, they kind of did a lot more harm than good here. Really dumb plans. And that brings me to the one scene I hated, was with this group of characters. All of it makes sense, even though I disagree with what the characters are doing and think they're doing stupid things. I don't think it's bad writing. It makes sense for the characters. One thing I hated was that RPG scene. I saw so many people like, oh, badass, she shot the RPG. No, it bothered me so much. She shot the RPG like it's some sort of magical laser beam that just poofed him into non-existence without touching anything around. There were shelves with like cans and stuff stacked up on them, like 2 to 5 feet away from the guy, and he gets blown up with a rocket. Those cans don't even like shake, they don't even wobble, they're completely unaffected. So that bothered me just because of the nonsensical, I guess it's the CGI dear of this season for me. The nonsensical production of it, I guess, is the problem I had. Not story-wise, but, and also the fact that shooting an RPG indoors is not a great idea, and in general probably would have created quite a burst that would have sent her flying back, and just not good things. Not something you want to do, shooting an RPG indoors. Then to talk about the next group, the Kingdom group is, I guess, the easiest way to describe it. I thought Carol had really good stuff this episode, and the stuff with Henry and her was really, really good too. Jerry, I really liked the thing with Jerry where he was like, you know, Ezekiel told me I didn't have to stand outside and do this whole night thing anymore, but this is what I do. And I really like that, showing that he's kind of lost, not in a sad, pathetic kind of way, but he's kind of lost, like, you know, this is what I do, this is my purpose, this is how I keep going day to day, how this place keeps running. And he's told me I didn't have to do it anymore, but it's what I do, it's what I know, it's how I've gotten by. So I liked that. I liked the one line that Carol had where she told Henry, you know, kids die in forests. So, again, harkening back to her own kid, I thought that was great. And Carol and Ezekiel's scene was super, super strong, even shed some tears on Carol's part. So, yeah, really good scene. The hilltop stuff was very, very good. Personally, I'm like, build that cell outside. Why are you going to build it in the walls? I don't trust that at all. Don't trust the saviors at all there. But one thing with that, I really liked how earlier they were like, you know, we need to just start building the gallows, and then later on the prisoners hear him building stuff and they're like, oh shit. And there's just this layer of them being like, oh, this is not going well for us, and then we get the reveal that it is a prison cell. And they throw Gregory in there too, which I like the way it was played out. It was played up really well. Then Daryl's group at the very end is about to just F up their final attack for no reason, and we see the next episode they did F up their final attack for basically no reason. They didn't succeed in anything. So yeah, there was tons of content, and like I said, it was probably the funnest episode to watch this season for me. 8.5 Naked Art Projects out of 10. Really, really liked that one. And now let's talk about 807 a little bit. So for 807, we start off, and for this one I'm going to go in order through the episode because there were too many different groups doing different things going on for me to... There were too many things that each group did, I think, for me to group it like I did for the episode before. So let's talk about it in order from the beginning to the end of the episode. So starting off, we have these photos being taken by Jadis, and again, I love the character of Jadis, just very nonchalant and just weird, mysterious. I guess it's the mystique of it, where we have no idea what her motivation is other than money and Rick. I have no clue what she's doing. I love Dwight's scene where he sits Eugene down after Eugene says, I know you're the traitor, and is just like, okay, all you need to do is shut up, be quiet, don't do anything, and you live. Is that something you can do? Just live. Eugene goes, sees Gabriel. Gabriel's not doing well. I really hope he doesn't die, but I'm not feeling that he's going to fare all that well. Eugene, piece of shit guy, just blames Gabriel, says, well, it's your fault for being part of this coup attacking us. So yeah, poor Gabriel. He's still trying to get through to Eugene this episode, but Eugene's he's pretty far gone. I don't know if I'd say he's too far gone. I think he's so far gone at this point where, like, I don't even want to see future comic storylines with him, not getting into any of those, but I say give those storylines to a different character. Kill Eugene off. Screw this guy. Like, Eugene is really, really being a serious prick here, and to the point where I've totally turned on the character as a fan. I really don't enjoy the character anymore. The they have what's next? Oh yeah, Morgan sees Daryl's truck pull up and goes to say, "Hey, I want in on this too. I like killing people now." Eugene and Tanya have a great scene together, and I didn't even remember her name was Tanya, but a bunch of other people did that I saw talking about the episode, and I was like, well, you have a much better memory of these things than I. So, yeah, apparently her name's Tanya. But they have a great scene together where she's like, I have to drink to try to go to sleep too, and it's because we still have Negan to deal with because you didn't kill him. I like that she threw those jabs in there. And when he's like, aren't you scared? We're trapped in here. She's like, I was already trapped in here. Which again, really, it's a really good look into the mind of some of the people that are the victims of the saviors. Because the thing with Eugene and the morality of the saviors here, they will do evil things and then say, well, we didn't do this, or we did do this. Like, they'll say, we didn't attack you, you attacked us first, even though that they technically went after them and killed certain members of their group whenever they disobeyed. Like, they'll try to spin it and say, okay, look, we're the good guys, but in the end their actions don't match up with what they're saying, and it's sort of Eugene and fear that drives them into the hands of people like that. But pretty much Eugene is... He does seem to feel bad about what's going on. He's trying to drink his troubles away because of what he's doing, but still, he's still doing it. Don't like what's going down with his character. I mean, it's good for the story. I just don't like the character very much. So Daryl gets there and explains the plan. I mean, it was kind of a loose plan to begin with, but it's fucking terrible. It's a terrible, horrible plan. Rosita is completely right, where she's like, I've already tried to take matters into my own hands and it didn't work out. I've learned this lesson. You should have learned it as well through me and Sasha, but you do you. I'm out of here. So Rosita, a character that I've not been on the side of very often through this show, I am 100% on the side of right now. Whereas Daryl, who I've been on his side most of the show, I'm like, no, this is a terrible plan. An obviously terrible plan. Eugene gets praised and manipulated by Negan through being praised, because Negan knows just what to do to get Eugene to fall in line and do what he wants. And he sees that Eugene is very valuable when he can get him to fall in line and do what he wants. He can help him out a lot with his brain. So then he has an idea for drawing the herd away using the little, the thing he builds. I don't even know what to call it, a RC glider. But he builds that thing. Michonne then dips out on Daryl's plan too. She's like, no thanks, Rosita's right, this isn't right. So then Dwight stops Eugene from screwing everything up right as Daryl screws everything up and drives the truck into the wall. A bunch of innocent workers are dying, so Eugene flips out, goes full on evil and says, I'm going to do what keeps me alive, and that's becoming Negan, and that's keeping Dr. Carson here in case I need him. Screw if Maggie needs him, because I might need him. So yeah, that to me saying, screw if Maggie needs the doctor, I'm keeping him here because I might need him, that's the step too far, I think, maybe. But then he has a plan, he brings it to Negan, he says, guess what? Just shoot all the walkers. And Negan's like, well, that's a very simple and brute force way to do this, but wouldn't we lose a bunch of ammo? And Eugene's like, nope, just use what ammo you want and I'll make you new ammo. All you gotta do is get me to my little machinery place, my little workshop. So basically that's their plan, and that's what they go for. He also was about to sell out Dwight, but Dwight walks in and he's like, oh, I'm too much of a pussy for this, never mind. Can't have that much blood on my hands. So then I guess that's pretty much there. I mean, he tries to drink himself into a daze as he's listening to all the gunfire and screams. Rick then fights his way out of this weird situation with this walker on a pole thing, which makes no sense really, because you think about what are the reasons why they would do this. For entertainment, nobody was there watching. It's not like they put him in an arena or something. To test him is kind of the arena type thing, just to see what would happen. It doesn't seem like it was a test, because they were just holding him on his knees handcuffed whilst trying to feed him to the walker. Would it be to turn him into a new Walker that they could modify, that would both be wasteful of Rick, a big community leader, and they know that, and it would also sort of not be the easiest way to turn him into a Walker to begin with. So that doesn't make sense either. The problem here isn't mysterious motivations, it's that I can't see any motivations. I have no idea why they were doing this whatsoever to begin with, but whatever, he fights his way out. It seems like they were only doing it just to give him a cool scene of him fighting his way out. He pretty much holds Jadis at Walker Point and says, "I'm leaving here," and they're like, "Okay then, we'll team up with you." So quick and easy in a weird way. Yeah, so then they find a sniper dead and all, the herd is gone, and because, well, after I give a score, I'll talk about that, but first up, score, thought it was a good episode. Fuck Eugene. Daryl's plan is also quite bad, but I'd still give it 8 out of 10. I still thought it was quite good. I didn't like it as much as episode 6, but still quite good. So things I'm thinking. We don't know what the timeline for this is, and we saw back in the season premiere all those scenes of Rick crying, and I think that might play in here. One thing I think might happen is Alexandria might fall, and a cool way they could play this is that Rick, like, we don't know how long Rick has been locked up. Maybe they say it was a couple days, so maybe Alexandria's already fallen, and we see it fall. We see the Saviors fighting against Michonne and Daryl and all them, and we get all that done. And then Rick makes it there finally, and this battle that we've been watching throughout the episode has already happened, and Alexandria is already pretty much gone and wiped out. So he doesn't know if they escaped to somewhere else. He doesn't know if they're dead. Maybe we as fans don't get to know that until the season picks back up next year. So that could be a really cool way to play this. So I'm thinking Alexandria may fall. Or the other big thing that could happen that I fear for, actually, I feel like they could kill Judith off. I feel like they introduced Gracie, the new baby, and it kind of is sort of a backup plan so that they could kill Judith off and have Rick raise Gracie in her place to be the little girl in the season premiere, like everybody else was saying, "Oh, what if that's not really Judith? What if it's Gracie?" I just don't want that to happen, though, because it seems like a real waste. It feels like Judith could push forward more storyline being alive than being dead, and her death really doesn't even seem that impactful, because even though off-screen it's like, oh yeah, she's Rick's daughter and all that, on-screen, at least in the past 2, even 3 seasons, it feels like I haven't really seen her ever. I mean, I constantly forget she even exists. So yeah, I think that'd be a dumb idea. I think there's much more to do with the character of Judith alive, much more stories to pull from that than to kill her off here. I don't think the death would be worth the storyline benefits that could come from it. Because, I mean, what more would it do to push the story along? Make Rick hate Negan and the Saviors anymore? He already does. He already has plenty of reasons to hate them and go after them. So, yeah, it seems like it would just be shock factor with no real substance. But either way, guess that's it. Talked about these two enough. I really liked both of them. Not completely incredible or anything, but they were both good episodes. So if you did like the video, comment down there to tell me what you thought of this, or these 2 episodes, my thoughts on them. Subscribe for more Walking Dead, both comics and TV show. Follow on Twitter if you want. I'll try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel. If you want a link to our Discord server, we usually don't talk about this show there, but we always could. If you want a link to the Discord server, just ask and I'll give you one. That's it. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.